Welcome to another episode of Landing Gear, the web series for the page on my blog, rudderlesstravel.com, where I review travel apps and travel gear. If you've been following along with the past few episodes, I've been out in Corning, New York, attending a travel blogging conference called TBEX. During our time across the border, as most of you know, I'm Canadian, my friends, fellow travel bloggers, and Wait What co-hosts, Kathryn Wager from the Wandering Wagers and Kathryn from Kathryn Anywhere, were given SIM cards and data plans courtesy of Mobility.
Okay, we're live. Look at that.
Awesome.
Hey, we're coming to you from the road. Look, we just crossed into the US and we're not using up our data from Canada because this Chris and I are both TELUS customers, and so they have like a daily roaming fee. But we got cards from Mobility, and so we're powered in the US. Kevin got one too, not this Chris, unfortunately. Sorry. No, but he can use our data right now if he wants. And so we are on our way to Corning, and we're using SIM cards from Mobility, and I'm chewing up data, and I'm doing it live from the front seat of this car on the interstate.
Fantastic. As soon as we crossed over the border, cards hooked up immediately. Like, love that. Mobility right there in the top corner of the phone.
Yep.
Automatically on.
Here's how it works. First, your phone must be unlocked. Very easy to do. Just contact your service provider. The cost and length of time you must be in a contract before you can unlock your phone varies according to your service provider. Before your trip to the USA, you need to purchase a SIM card, and you have two options for that. The first one is you can simply have it delivered to you, or the second one, you could pick it up at a selected store. To find a store closest to you, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on Find a Local Store. Once you have your card in your hand, you click Activate. If you do not have an account, you may need to create one. Enter the SIM card ID number and give your card a name. Click Activate. Next, click on a data plan and choose the one that works for your needs. Like, you can choose talk, text, and data, or you could choose monthly plans or snowbird plans for the retired couples who head off to Florida during the winter, or you can get data-only plans. Now, when I head over to New York City for a long weekend, I find the 1 gigabyte for 7 days is enough, since I know that I'll be using social media a lot and using Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp to call my friends for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast, for brunch, etc. If needed, I could always top it up with 500 megabytes. Meaning, if you run out during your plan, yes, you could always top it up, as you'll always have access to the website even if your data runs out. I think I only ever needed to top it up once. Once you select your plan, you select the time you want your plan to start working. So that way, the minute you cross the border or the minute you step out that airplane into the airport, your plan will start working. For me, I let it start usually before I even get on the plane in Toronto, because I have 1 gigabyte for 7 days, and I'm usually in New York City for about 4 days. So the plan's not gonna run out within that time, so I don't need to be worried about that. But my only recommendation is, before you purchase a SIM card and buy a plan, click on the coverage link and look at the coverage areas. Not just the area that you will be staying in for most of your trip, but also if you're planning on driving, you want to check out the coverage along the route that you're taking. In a big city like New York, I had no problems with connectivity. I used Mobility like 3 times so far. However, on the recent trip to Corning, I found that in small towns, tucked away in pubs or in smaller side roads, the connection wasn't always strong. On the main interstate, the internet was great. Just something to consider. Since New York City is at the very least an annual trip, with other big cities like Boston and Chicago and Las Vegas on the horizon, I feel pretty confident using Mobility, and Mobility has saved me several $100s on roaming fees. That I cannot argue with.
Hey there. Hi. So, we are in Watkins Glen National Park. We're on the Gorge Trail, powered by Mobility today.
Are we powered by
We are powered by,
Fantastic.
yes, our data is powered by Mobility. So here we are, chasing waterfalls in Watkins.
Waterfalls, I like that.
Go chasing waterfalls.
Okay, so yes,
Apologize for that.
powered by Mobility, we're having karaoke to TLC. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a gorge here in Watkins Glen.
So that's it for me for this episode of Landing Gear. Have you used Road Mobility? Tell me about your experiences in the comments below. In the next episode, we'll talk a little bit about the family tree that my cousin started to build and how we're connecting it to Ancestry.com. And we'll talk a little bit about heritage and some fun things like that. That's coming up in the next video. Very good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so you get notified of new videos. So thanks for watching. Cheers.